What's up YouTube? Welcome to .NET Mob. This is my first video in the series of jqGrid integration in ASP.NET MVC application. In this tutorial, we will discuss basics of jqGrid and how to bind data to jqGrid in ASP.NET MVC application. First of all, we have to create ASP.NET MVC application. For that, click on New Project here. Then select Web under Visual C#. Then select ASP.NET Web Application. I will name this project as jqGrid in ASP.NET MVC. Then select the location where you want to save this application. Then click on OK. I will select MVC Template. Then keep other options as it is. Click on OK. So here we have a brand new ASP.NET MVC application. Now I am going to delete unwanted controllers and related view folder and model classes. So select account controller and home controller, right click on it, then click on delete, click on OK. Then do the same for model classes and view folder. Before continuing with this project, we have to create the database for the application. For that, let me switch to my management studio here. This is my management studio. Here we are going to create a new database. For that, right click on databases, then click on new database. I will name this database as jqGridDB. Click on OK. So here we have the newly created database jqGridDB. Let me expand that. Now we are going to create a new table. Right click on tables, then new table. Inside this table we will store employee details. Now we need to list the columns for the table. First for employee ID, it's of the type integer. Then we have name, it's of the type worker 50. Then position as worker 50. Office, it's of the type worker 50. Then age as integer. Then we have salary as integer. Now I am going to set this employee ID as the primary key for the table. Now I want to set the same column employee ID as the identity column for the table. Go to column properties, then expand identity specification, then set is identity as yes. Now you want to save this table. For that you can use the shortcut Ctrl S, or you can click on this save button here. I will name this table as employee. Click on OK. Newly created table can be seen under this tables node here. Now I am going to populate this employee table with some test data. Select the database, then click on new query here. I will paste the SQL script to insert data for the employee table, then click on execute. So here we have inserted 57 rows into the employee table. Right click on employee table, then select top 1000 rows. So here you can see the 57 employee records. Now we will be displaying this 57 employees record inside jqGrid using MVC model binding. Back to Visual Studio. Now I am going to add ADO.NET entity data model for the employee table. For that, right click on models, then add new item, select data from the left panel, then select ADO.NET entity data model. I will name this model as DB models. Click on add, select generate from database, then click on next, click on new connection. In this window we have to provide the server details and database. For me it is local /SQL E2012. Then from this drop down I will select the database as jqGridDB. Click on OK. After creating this entity model, there will be a class with this name jqGridDB entities. In order to interact with this database, we have to create an object of this class jqGrid entities. So I am going to edit this class name as DB model. Click on next. In this step we have to select the database objects that we need to include the entity model. So I will select the employee table, click on finish. So here we created the entity model for the table employee as DB models. This is the diagrammatic representation of employee table. Inside the model you can see the file employee.cs. Inside that we have a class employee. We will be using this employee class as a model for this application. Now I am going to add a controller into this application. Right click on controllers, then add controller. Then select MVC5 controller empty. Click on add. I will name this controller as employee. Click on add. So here we created the employee controller. Inside that you can see the default index action. Now I am going to set this employee controller as the default controller for this application. Let me expand app start folder here. Then go to root config.css. Replace home with employee. Back to employee controller. Now we are going to create a view for this index action. Right click on index and add view. Keep the view name as it is index. We don't want any template. Then check layout page. Click on add. So here we have the index view. Inside this view we will place our jqGrid here. For that, first of all, let me add a line break here. After that I will add a HTML table element table. Its ID will be jqGrid. After that we have to add a div element for displaying paging controls inside the jqGrid. Div ID is equal to jqGrid pager. Now we need to download and install jqGrid into this application. For that I have Google jqGrid download. I'm going to download jqGrid plugin from this link. You can find this link in video description. So this is the jqGrid download page. Here you can see the various features inside the jqGrid plugin. I will select all of them. Then I'm going to download the plugin. Click on download here. Inside my desktop we can see the downloaded jqGrid plugin file. Now we want to extract this zip file. For that, right click on it, then extract to this file. So here is the extracted file. From this folder we will be adding few CSS reference and JavaScript reference inside our project here. For that, right click on content folder, then add existing item, then select the folder from my desktop, then go to CSS file here, then select ui.jqgrid.css, click on add. Next we will add script file. For that I have to add a folder inside the scripts folder. Right click here, then add new folder. I will name this folder as jqGrid. Right click on the folder, then add existing item, then go to src folder, then go to i18n. Inside the folder you can see around 40 JavaScript files. Each of the file represent a language. So I will select the English language. For that, select this one, grid.local-en.js. Click on add. Then we have to add one more file. Right click on the folder, then add existing item, then back to the src folder, then select jQuery.jqgrid.js. click on add. Now we have to add one more style sheet for jQuery UI that will select a theme for this plugin jqGrid. For that, go to jQueryui.com, then click on download. So here we have the option to exclude or include components inside jQuery UI. For now I will select all of these components. After all, we have to select a theme from this drop down. For now I will select this theme Redmond. If you want to see a preview of these themes, click on these themes here, then go to gallery here, then select appropriate theme here. You can see the preview in the right side. For now I will select this one, Redmond. Click on download. So here we have the downloaded file for jQuery UI theme. Let me extract this file. So here we have the extracted folder. From this folder we have to add few images and CSS reference into our application. So I am going to add a new folder here. Right click on content, then add new folder. Then I will name this folder as theme. Then right click on the folder theme, then add existing item, then go to extracted file here, then select this CSS file jQuery-ui.min.css. click on add. Now we need to add one more folder inside this folder. Right click, then add new folder. I will name this folder as images. Right click on the folder, then add existing item. Then we have to select all of these images, select all of them, then click on add. Now I am going to add style sheet and JavaScript reference inside this index view. First of all, I will add this file jQuery UI.min.css. Then after that we have the style sheet for jqGrid UI.jqGrid.css, and we have to add the script files. For that I will use this section scripts inside the layout page underscore layout.cshtml. There you can see a section scripts, so I will use that here. So we can do this add section scripts. Inside this section we can add reference for JavaScript files. First of all, I will add the language script file, then I will add jqGrid script file. Now I am going to convert this HTML table into jqGrid by calling the function jqGrid and using this table ID here. First of all, I will add a script tag here. Inside that I will declare jQuery ready function. For that we can do this. Now we can call the jqGrid function using this jqGrid ID. Call the function jqGrid. I am going to save this jqGrid declaration inside a variable grid. Inside this function we can pass parameters for jqGrid. First of all, I will type the parameters here. After all, we will discuss each of them. First of all, we will tell the source of data that is to be populated inside this HTML table here. A get data action method inside employee controller of the type get, and it should return JSON data to populate this HTML table right here. Okay, then we have call model property. This tells the configuration of columns inside the table. So here we have in total 5 columns are here. Each of these objects represent a single column. Inside the object you can see label and name property. Label specify the header name of the column. Then we have name property. It tells property from JSON data to be binded with each of these columns. First column will be binded with name property from JSON data, then position, office, age and salary. Finally, we have load once property. It tells that this jqGrid is client side. It tells that we will load this data once and we will do the operations like searching, sorting and paging in client side or browser. In the next video, we will discuss how we can implement these operations in server side. That means server side processing in jqGrid. You may need to do the server-side processing in jqGrid if you have millions of records. So we will discuss that in detail in upcoming tutorial. Now we have to create this action method get data inside employee controller. Now back to the employee controller. So I'm going to add an action method here, public action result get data. Inside this function we have to write the code for retrieving data from the employee table. So I'm going to use this namespace for model using statement. Inside that we have to create an object of db model as db is equal to new db model. First of all, I will declare a variable to store employee list. Employee list is equal to db dot employees to list. We have to convert that into employee list, and finally we will return this employee list as a JSON. For that we can do this return JSON new rows is equal to employee list. Finally, we have to set the JSON request behavior as alloget. Now we are going to run this application. For that, hold Control, then press F5. So this is how the index view of employee controller looks like. Here we have a jqGrid. Inside that we have 57 rows. So this is the basic initialization of jqGrid. Okay. Now we will add one feature at a time. First of all, I will show the pager in the footer of jqGrid. For that, we can add the pager property here. Pager is equal to, we will specify this div ID here. Let me copy this div ID and pasting here. Let me save this and reload this page. So here you can see the page controls for jqGrid in footer. By default, each page contains 20 rows. If you want to change that, you can add row num property here. Row, let me close this, row num, let it be 10. Let me save this and reload this page. So in this case, we have 10 records inside a single page. If you want to add a drop down to change number of records inside a page, you can do that by adding property row list. So I will add the property row list and we will pass integer array 10, 20, 30 and 50. Let me save this and reload this page. So here we have a drop down to select number of rows inside a single page. If I change it to 30, we can see 30 record inside a single page. If you want to show a label to describe the number of rows inside this jqGrid, you can add the property here, view records is equal to true. Let me save this and reload this page. So here you can see the label view 1 to 10 of 57 rows. If you change the page, you can see that it changes according to the page. If you want to add width and height for this jqGrid, you can directly add the property height is equal to 250 pixel. Let me save this and reload this page. So inside this jqGrid, you can sort columns in descending and ascending order. Then we can page this jqGrid here. Next, we will add searching functionality into this jqGrid. For that, we can do this after the jqGrid initialization. We have to add few lines. Let me copy this from here and pasting here dot jqGrid. First parameter will be navGrid, then pager. So I will copy the pager ID from here and pasting here. Then we have to disable few functionalities. Edit is equal to false, add equals false, then delete equals false. So these features will be discussed in future tutorials. For now, we will add search functionality. Let me save this and reload this page here. So here you can notice that here we have two buttons. One is for reloading this grid and one is for searching the grid. If you click here, you can search on all of these columns here: name, position, office, age and salary. And we have these much operators here: equal, not equal, begin with. So these operators will change according to the type of the column here. So now I'm going to search employees with their position. So I'm going to search for director, then click on find. So here you can see the employee with position director. If you want to avoid the filter settings, you can click on this reset button here. Next, we will discuss how to change the theme or look of jqGrid right here. For that, we have to change one thing. Inside content folder, you can see theme folder. Inside that, we have few images. Then we have a style sheet for jQuery UI. You have to replace this jQuery UI and images with appropriate theme files. For that, you can do the same that we have done before. Go to jQuery official website jQueryui.com and click on download. In the bottom section, you have to select a theme from this drop down. For now, I have selected this one, Redmond. In order to see the theme preview, you can go to this link, themes here. Then click on gallery here. Here you can see a variety of themes for jQuery UI. If you want to see the preview of these themes, you can click on the theme here and you can see the corresponding preview in the right side like this. So I'm going to select this one, Sunny. So I will select Sunny from this drop down, Sunny, then click on download. So here is my downloaded file for jQuery UI for the Sunny theme. Now I want to extract this file. So this is the extracted file. Now back to the Visual Studio. Now I am going to remove this style sheet from here. Right click on it, then click on delete, click on OK, and we have to remove these images from this folder. Select all of them, then right click, then click on delete, click on OK. Now we have to add files from the new downloaded file. So right click on images, then add, click on existing item, select the folder from desktop, jQuery UI custom, then images, select all of these images, click on add. Now we have to add one more style sheet. Right click on theme folder, then add existing item. Then you can see the jQuery UI min.css here. Click on add. So this style sheet reference is already added here inside this index view here, jQuery UI.min.css. Let me save this and reload this page. In my browser, I can't see any change of theme. So in this case, you have to delete the cache file from browser. If you are in Chrome, you have to go to the history. For that, you can use the shortcut Ctrl+H. Then click here, clear browsing data. Then I will select this one, cache images and files, clear browsing data. Now reload this page again. So now you can see the changes here. So if you can't see any change after reloading this page, but clear your browser cache. Here you can see few default icons for search, reload and paging controls. If you can replace these icons with phone awesome icon, you can see a better improvement in quality of these buttons. So let's look how we can do that. First of all, we have to add the style sheet reference for phone awesome icon. Let me copy paste here. So this is the style sheet reference for phone awesome icon. Now in order to replace these default icons from jqGrid with phone awesome icons, I'm going to use the jQuery code by finding the control, replacing this class with phone awesome class. For now, I will paste the code here and we will discuss them. So here we have a variable declared as pager. So this will give the page HTML control. Then we will find each of these controls for paging icons, and we will remove the default CSS class, and we will add the phone awesome class here. So this will replace the paging icon. Then we have the code for replacing the search and refresh icons. Now let me save this project. Instead of reloading this page, I'm going to create a duplicate for this tab. Right click here, then duplicate. Then reload this page. So here we have the default icon, which is low quality, and it is replaced with high quality icons from Font Awesome library. That's it guys. In this jqGrid tutorial in ASP.NET MVC, we have discussed how to create jqGrid in MVC Razor using an example. So if you found this helpful, please thumbs up this video, and for more awesome videos like this, please be subscribed to this channel .NET More. You can download this project source code from the link given below in video description. Please like and share this video with your friends and colleagues so that they can benefit from this. Have a nice day. Bye.